All right, welcome everybody. This is going to be a Wednesday, May 10th, 2023. Let's do a recap here. But before we get started, please don't forget to subscribe and also hit that like button. Okay, that helps out my channel and also allows me to continue to do these, not only the morning show, but continue to do these daily recaps where you can watch me trade my approach to trading that I've used for the last 35 years. I've been a trader for 40 years, and I developed my own tools, and they're pretty simple, and that's basically what I'm trying to show, that there is an easier way of trading than what most people are accustomed to doing. So don't have to use a ton of indicators and stuff. As long as you understand price action and understand how markets move, then you can actually do quite well. So you don't want to make trading too complicated. So please don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button. Also make sure you also hit the notification bell, and we'll keep you updated on any new videos. Okay, let's get started. So we talked about carrying that natural gas overnight, which I did. You can see bought it yesterday. And I slowly was adding on. I really thought that natural gas was going to have a nice little pop to the upside. I think it still is. But unfortunately, I did get out, and I got out this morning. I did get out at actually around 9:23 when I exited my long. But then I had a nice HF1 short come in on the short side. I did take that HF1 short. I actually was in this for a while until it hit my target. Actually hit my target right here at exactly around 10:30, 10:31. It was a nice little trade, but not enough to offset my losses. Okay, so even though you see a nice little profit there, it wasn't enough to offset my losses, and still lost $1,200. I tend to get very aggressive on natural gas, and you watch me also get aggressive on the indices. So I wasn't too aggressive today on the E-mini S&P, mainly because of this loss here, so I didn't want to go too heavy, and but still ended up making nice little money on the short side on the E-mini S&P. I can't remember if I did that in the first hour or that came in the second hour. I really can't remember, but I did short it and sold it 2-3 times and did get out with a nice little profit. We traded a little bit of the Euro USD. Not a whole lot of success with that. I did have a short, and we finally did get out with a nice little profit. Then I came in and I sold again, and I took a loss, and then I sold again, I took a loss. So I ended up actually losing $324 on that. Let's see what else. Gold, I do believe that was within the first hour. I did sell the gold and added to my position a couple times on the gold. Made a nice little $336 on that. Here's the mini NASDAQ. So the mini NASDAQ was another one that I carried over from yesterday, and this one actually hit very nice, picking up, and this was the big one for me, the $2,070 on the mini NASDAQ, okay? And then let's see what else here. And then on the US yen, had some success on the US yen. I sold it and only sold it once, added to the short and picked up a nice little profit. So overall, still netting $721.50. The thing that hurt me was going back to the natural gas. Probably should have added a few more contracts on that, but you know what? I just didn't feel like I wanted to take any additional risk. I was always starting to get pretty heavy on that anyway. So yeah, decent day on that. Let's take a look at our stocks. We did have a good day on the stocks, and I used a little bit different technique. I'll talk about that here on the stocks and what I did on the stocks. All right, so here we go. Not a bad day overall. We'll talk a little bit about what I did today. I did trade more, but I was basically just kind of chipping away at it, and I'll explain that here in just a minute. You saw me take CTIC. CTIC, very disappointing. The volume was huge, 126 million today. But look what it did. As soon as I pretty much entered, it just went flat. It wasn't HF1 buy. It went flat. I entered at 9:05. And I only had one target. If you were watching this morning, I mentioned I only had one target. All the other targets were hit. I had that one target up there. And I wasn't looking for much. I was only looking for about 10 to 15 cents. It wasn't it wasn't a huge target. But it just went just sideways. It was absolutely horrible. I don't know the last time I've seen a stock do this. It was just, I mean, that looks like a I don't know, comb or something. It's ridiculous. Anyway, a lot of wicking going on. Never really went anywhere. What did I say? I got in around 90. What did I say? 9:05. I didn't get out of this thing because it was just dead. And I ended up getting out down here. Okay, and I don't think I held it to 11. It just wasn't moving. It was just bouncing up and down. I mean, that's 1 penny going from here 90 to 91. That's a what? A penny. That's 1 penny. It's not. It wasn't doing anything. So I don't know if it ever did finally come up. I don't think it did. I think it just got crazy. Anyway, so yeah. See, now it's coming down. So anyway, no go on that. That was my one little teeny loss. Got out of that. Wasn't doing heavy shares this morning. If you remember, I was starting everything with just 200 shares. Next one was PLTR. Did better on PLTR. Let's take a look at that stock. All right, so here's PLTR. Once again, that was another one that I took this morning during the first hour. Basically an HF1 buy. And I hit my first target. Now, so what I've been doing today is I was just going for small targets, going for that first target, whatever that first target was. You know, you've seen me. I can project multiple targets, all right? But the thing is the farther out I go on these targets, it just a lot of times they're taking a lot longer to hit them, okay? So, going for the very first target, almost every time I can hit that first target. And that's what I did all day today, is just getting in and getting out, getting in, getting out. So I had an HF1 buy on PLTR. I bought in at around 9:14. Let me see, double check that. Yeah, 9:14. And I ended up getting out right in here once it hit my target, and it pulled back. I went ahead and I got out. And like I said, not putting a whole lot of size on, made 30 bucks on that. And then what else? Let's see here. Yeah, I also traded TCRX during that first hour. And let's look at that for our final look at the stocks. All right, so I decided to show JDST. Okay, so, I mean, PLTR, basically same thing. Everything was the same, but I wanted to come to JDST because if you recall, last week, I held on to that JDST. I think I bought into it last Tuesday. Finally got out yesterday. Took a 500, wasn't $500 something loss on that? I have to go back and look, but I think it was $500 loss. Then I had this nice HF3. Things are firming up on JDST. I did mention I probably would get back into it. Wasn't really expecting to get back into it today, so I was really surprised. And but I did have an HF3 buy on JDST. And it started taking off, and I put more contracts on, and I had 2 levels up here. In fact, I think I had a 3rd level. When it went through level 1, I held it because we started continuing to move up. I wasn't seeing any red. Once we hit level 2, I said, I don't want to press my luck. I had a really nice profit, went ahead and got out, and that was probably that was my biggest trade for the day, was JDST. Everything else, once again, I was just going for first targets. All right. So had this been one of those stocks that I hadn't been watching and feeling is going to go much higher, I would have gotten out a lot lower. All right. So I would have bought it in around, I think I got in JDST. I got in JDST around 35, I think it was. No, I think it was around 30 or something. Anyway, and then I got out here once it took out this high. So I got out at 46. So still nice, just a really nice trade on JDST. And I don't even know if it held. I didn't really, once I got out, I didn't want to get back into it. So I don't want to overtrade any of these stocks now. I don't want to keep jumping back into them. I want to hit them and I want to get out. I want to hit them and I want to get out. Yeah, see, it finally came back up again, but I'm not so sure it's not going to pull back a little bit before we resume higher. So, but I'm out. I'm out of JDST. I'd be really surprised if I got in tomorrow. But if it shows a lot of strength and I see some volume coming in and I have some nice setups, JDST's just been one of my favorite stocks. And I've done really well with JDST. So I may trade JDST again. BBAI was another one. Traded, scalped a little bit on BBAI. All of these were just in and out, in and out, in and out all day long. So that seems to be working really well in this kind of environment right now. Not holding on to these trades too long, and, just getting in, and, you hit a level, unless it's just blasting through it, then, I'm getting out at that first level. And a lot of these, when they were approaching their first level, it wasn't a very quick process. It was a very slow process. So that's the other thing. So if it's moving up into a level, then, and it's slowly moving up to a level, I'm going to get out at that first level. Now, if it's blasting through level 1, level 2, level 3, I'm going to see if I can play a little, get a little bit more out of it. All right. But most of the time, once we hit that level 1, it tends to just get really quiet. So that's going to be probably the same game plan tomorrow, unless I can catch a nice stock that goes parabolic on me. But that being said, I'm going to use the same approach tomorrow. And instead of trying to go for 2 or 3 levels, it hits that first level, I'm going to just get in. I can play a lot more stocks that way, and I can get in and get out, get in and get out. All right. So anyway, good day overall. And once again, we'll do this again tomorrow morning. Remember, every morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. First hour is open for everybody. Also, if you have a particular stock, commodity, Forex, anything you'd like me to look at in the morning, if I'm not busy, just mention it to my moderator, Glenn. He'll pass it along, and I'll be glad to look that stock up for you and see if I see any setups, get some levels, see if I have Einstein show me any levels. And so you can see the power behind this approach, all right? So you can pick the stock, you can pick the commodity, you can pick the Forex. I'll run the numbers for you and demonstrate it so you can actually see it work on whatever your particular stock or whatever you're watching. All right, that's it. Everybody have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow first thing in the morning.